Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're analyzing some incredible recent scientific research to take a trip to the absolute edge of our solar system. And let me tell you, it's a place of chilling mystery. For decades, we honestly thought we had our solar neighborhood's most distant planet all figured out. But recently, the data has completely flipped our understanding on its head. The Neptune we thought we knew is just vanishing, and the reality that's replacing it is darker, way more violent, and honestly, vastly more fascinating.
Think back to those grade school posters and science textbooks for a second. We were sold a very specific, comfortable little story about the edge of our solar system. But what if I told you that in just the last couple of years, almost every foundational fact we trusted about Neptune, its color, its composition, even the history of its moons, has been proven completely wrong? We are dealing with a really stark contrast here. On one hand, you have the textbook Neptune, right? That deep, striking blue sphere, a classic ice giant with this neat, orderly family of moons orbiting around it. But then you look at the real Neptune we are just now uncovering, and it is a totally different beast. It's actually a pale green-blue. It's mostly rock, not just ice. And its moon system, it's not a peaceful family at all. It's a chaotic, shattered graveyard. To understand how we got things so incredibly wrong, we first have to understand how distance plays tricks on us.
Section 1, the prologue, Deception by Distance. Before we go all the way to the edge of the solar system, let's look at a historical lesson a bit closer to home.
Picture this. It's October 18th, 1967. Soviet engineers are huddled in a mission control room, glued to their screens as their Venera floor probe drops into the atmosphere of Venus. The goal was super simple, just reach the surface. So the parachute deploys beautifully, but then the atmospheric pressure starts building up drastically. We're talking 90 times greater than Earth's. Eventually, those engineers were just met with dead radio silence. Why? Because 25 kilometers above the ground, the probe was completely crushed. The planet broke the machine before it could even see the ground. The terrifyingly simple lesson here is that distant observations create really comfortable illusions. From afar, Venus looked like Earth's sister, but up close, a pressurized hellscape. Keep that in mind as we talk about Neptune, because a probe has literally never entered its atmosphere.
Section 2, a ghost in the math. That idea of deception by distance is baked right into Neptune's origin story. Neptune actually holds a pretty unique title. It is the only planet discovered by pure math before a telescope ever laid eyes on it. It started as a ghost. Around 180 years ago, astronomers noticed Uranus was acting kind of strangely, like it was being pulled by some invisible force out in the dark. So a mathematician named Leverrier sat down with just a pen and paper, crunched the numbers, and predicted exactly where this hidden phantom had to be. Fast forward to 1846, astronomer Johann Galle points his telescope exactly where the math dictated, and boom, there's Neptune, just 1 degree away from the prediction. We knew it as a number before we ever knew it as a world. And honestly, because it's so distant and dim, we've basically been making mistakes about it ever since.
Section 3, the deep blue lie. Which brings us to the absolute most famous mistake of them all.
For over 40 years, the entire world believed Neptune was this rich, deep, dark blue. But it was an illusion. Back when the Voyager 2 spacecraft flew by in 1989, scientists intentionally cranked up the contrast on the images so they could clearly see the clouds and storms. But somehow, that editing choice just became the accepted reality. It wasn't until 2024 that researchers carefully reprocessed those original images and finally revealed the truth. Neptune is actually a pale, washed-out blue-green. It's so light it basically looks like the identical twin of its neighbor Uranus. And it makes you think, if something as basic as its color was alive for 4 decades, what else is hiding in the dark?
Section 4, the ice giant myth. Well, it turns out the very category we put Neptune into is likely completely wrong.
55%. For centuries, we've called Neptune and Uranus ice giants, right? Just assuming they're these massive worlds made entirely of frozen water and gas. But brand new 2026 computer models simulating the planet's extreme internal temperatures and pressures revealed something shocking. These models show that deep inside, the immense pressure actually turns gas clouds into solid stone. Neptune isn't a giant ball of ice at all. It's actually about 55% solid rock mixed with hydrogen and helium.
This is causing a massive shift in astronomy. Based on these models, scientist Yamila Miguel boldly stated, they should be called minor giants, not ice giants. We might literally have to rename an entire class of planets. And here's the crazy part. Neptune-sized planets are actually the most common type of planet we find orbiting other stars in our galaxy.
We are just now realizing we never even knew what they were made of.
Section 5. The terrifying moon-pocalypse. And you know, the physical makeup of the planet is absolutely nothing compared to the violent history hiding in its orbit.
Normally, planetary moons are a tidy little family. They form together, they orbit neatly in the same direction. But not Neptune's. Neptune's system was hijacked. Meet Triton, the invader. Triton holds a staggering 99% of the mass of Neptune's entire moon system. But here's the kicker. It orbits backward. A moon that massive doing a backward orbit means one thing for sure. It was not born there. Triton is a rogue object captured from the dark icy Kuiper belt, wandering in and taking over.
And Triton's arrival? Definitely not peaceful. This invasion triggered an event scientists actually refer to as the moon-pocalypse. When a massive object like Triton crashes into an established system, it brings total chaos. Triton's overwhelming gravity essentially tore through Neptune's original ancient family of moons, smashing them to pieces. Some were violently ejected into deep space, while the shattered remains of the others were left behind, forming those faint, dusty rings and tiny broken moons we see today. It's a literal planetary graveyard.
But amidst all that total destruction, there was one survivor, Nereid. It's Neptune's third largest moon today, stuck in this incredibly eccentric, jagged, stretched-out orbit. It's like it was violently shoved but just didn't get completely kicked out of the system. For the longest time, scientists assumed Nereid was just another captured object, like Triton. But recently, 2026 data from the James Webb Space Telescope proved its water ice perfectly matches Neptune's. It's made of local material. Nereid is the lone, original, ancient moon that survived the moon-pocalypse, just silently orbiting through the debris of its destroyed siblings for billions of years.
Section 6. The freezing mystery. So, from a violent past, we return to the eerie, unexplained present.
For 30 years, scientists were hunting for auroras on Neptune. You know those beautiful glowing lights like we see at Earth's poles? Well, in 2023, the James Webb Space Telescope finally spotted them using a special molecule called H3+. But instead of being at the poles like they are on Earth or Jupiter, Neptune's auroras are glowing right in the middle of the planet, at the mid-latitudes. Why? Because Neptune's magnetic field is incredibly deformed. It's tilted a bizarre 47 degrees away from its geographic rotation. The magnetic poles are nowhere near the actual top and bottom of the planet.
When you step back, you can see this really clear timeline of how our knowledge is completely unraveled. In 1989, Voyager 2 gave us that beautiful, deceptive blue lie. Fast forward to 2023, and JWST reveals these bizarre, displaced auroras. And now in 2026, the latest computer models and telescope data are busting the ice giant myth entirely and proving Nereid's tragic survival story. Our advancing technology is systematically dismantling literally everything we thought we knew about this world.
But I want to leave you with one final, chilling thought that scientists still cannot explain. Since Voyager 2 flew by in 1989, the temperature in Neptune's upper atmosphere has inexplicably dropped by half. We're talking hundreds of degrees colder. It is quietly freezing in the darkest corner of our solar system, and no one knows why. The cold is even making those bizarre auroras fade away. A planet discovered by math, colored by a lie, made of rock instead of ice, orbiting in the ruins of a moon-pocalypse, and now, just freezing in the dark. It really makes you wonder, what else are we completely wrong about in our universe? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope this sparked your curiosity. Until next time, keep questioning what you know.